Hey guys, I want to take a few minutes and go over the Lee 6-pack progressive press. I believe if you're just getting into reloading or if you've been in reloading for a while, and this is actually a very nice press from them. I do have their Lee Loadmaster. The Lee Loadmaster and this machine are a bit different. The Lee Loadmaster has the turrets, tool heads, whatever you want to call them, that are removable. You can leave your dies on and attach to the tool head and exchange it. With the Lee 6-pack, it comes with the quick disconnects that you attach your dies to and manually pull them off and on and change out whatever caliber you want. So you will have to remove 5 or 6 or 3 or however many stations you're using. You will have to remove the quick disconnects. Just quickly, I want to go over what is included for anybody thinking about getting the press, what you're going to get. I'm going to go over what I think the press needs so that it'll run for a very long time, what I like about it, and a few things that I dislike about it that are pretty easy to tweak or fix. Firstly, when you order the press, you're gonna order it in the caliber you want, whether it's 40, 9mm, 45 ACP, or whatever you wanna load. And what changes is they include a different shell plate carrier for the cartridge or the caliber that you're reloading. They also include a different die set. Now I ordered this in a 40, so they sent me the 40 die set. I wish they would include the 4-piece die set with the factory crimp die. I think they're just looking to keep this as inexpensive as possible, so they're having you buy the crimp die. I think you can get them for about $20 at Midway or Titan Reloading, or I'm sure there's plenty of places out there selling them. These are the carbide dies, and basically what the carbide is just a piece of carbide on the sizer that really makes it for sizing pistol calibers without needing any lube. Though, to tell you the truth, I will use a little bit of lube on my hand when I'm doing 9mm and just pick up my cases in a bucket and just lube them up a little bit, and it really makes 9mm go a lot easier. Because of the angle on the 9mm case, they're actually harder to size than 45 and 10mm and 40. They're actually harder on the machine. So you get, again, the shell plate that you will need for loading the caliber that you bought. If you notice, these are the shell plate numbers and what they will load, what they will handle, what caliber will fit them. The 19S, which is the one I got, fits the 40 Smith & Wesson, the 9mm. It fits the 38 Super and a few others. The shell plate will actually also fit a 10mm. The 10mm will slide in. The difference is that the 10mm has a large primer. So if you try to prime 10mm with the small opening on the 19S, the primer will not fit. They do reduce the size at the bottom for the primer. They do that so that the primer doesn't move around. The small primer doesn't, if you tried to prime a 9mm with the 19L, there's a chance that the primer would shift a little because of the opening, and it'll catch the side of the case and go in crooked, and you're going to start wasting primers, maybe even have one go off. I've never had one go off even when they go in sideways, but you never know. I want to tell you that these new shell plates are beautiful. I'm really impressed with the craftsmanship or the machining that Lee has done on these. Hopefully they continue to be this nice. I know sometimes as things go, they start to peter out, and tooling starts to get dull and so on. But for right now, these are actually quite hefty and beautiful. They do screw on. These are threaded. You will have to screw them on, and then there's a Allen wrench that you tighten them down with. You got to be careful not to over tighten them. You want them snug, and that's about it, just so that they're not spinning on the nut. But let's go over what else comes with the machine. You do get your powder measure, with 2 drums. There are 2 drums that come with. One is for pistol, one is for rifle. And the only real difference is the tube has a longer or deeper well in it to allow for more powder. They do give you a little button that you can minimize how much powder the rifle drum will take, and use this also for pistol. So if you have 2 pistol calibers and one is taking, I don't know, 8 grains of one powder and the other caliber is taking 6 grains, you don't have to keep adjusting. You can just use one with 8, make a mark on it, 8 grains. But again, they do give you 2 of the drums. These drums are very rough. I don't know if you can see that. I have another video of how to clean these up, and I think everybody should actually clean these up if you want to save the wiper. There's a little wiper in here. It's a rubber or some kind of material, and it just wipes the powder from coming down. It just cuts off the powder. These tend to wear it out, and then they start to leak. They also, because they're so rough, you can't get them tight enough not to leak. So I have a video. If you look, it's only about a 3 or 4 minute, 5-minute video on how to clean these up and set these up so that they'll last you a long time. It does come with the case feeder. It's 4 tubes. They include the tubes with it. There's also a flexible tube. I'm not 100% sure what this is for. I didn't go over anything yet, but they do include a shorter flexible tube. If you guys know what that's for, before I dig into it, leave me some info on the comment section below. So you do get your case feeder. This, you do get a primer tray and the primer feed. They include a small and a large primer feed. I don't know what these would be called, but they attach to the end of this slider, and they pick up the primer as it's coming down the chute, and they feed it underneath the case, and then they come back and they grab another one. But there's a large and a small. Make sure you're using the right one for the size primer that you're using. Again, they've got them clearly marked an S and an L, so you can't really mess that up. I'll show you how this attaches when I get the machine on the stand. Other things that are included is this, it's a small shell plate it's like a filler. So if you're doing 9mm 380, you do have these tabs, and I'll show you those when I'm on the machine, that you move in and they'll hold the case when it's in the station. But as you're spinning around, they do tend to want to come out and move around. So this is just for a small case, I guess, filler. But you're not going to be able to use this on anything large. I don't believe the 45 ACP or anything big like that is going to be able to use that. You do get your die wrench. I wish they would include a real die wrench, but with the size, how close these stations are, you really can't fit too much in there. So you do get a die wrench. You get the feed for the primers, and I'll show you how that attaches. These little things here just kind of click as you move around to basically agitate the primer so they drop. You do get 2 keys for the drums so that you can adjust them. And you get a large case slider in case you're using taller cases. There's a short, and then this one here attaches on there so that you can get the larger cases going. They do include the quick disconnects. I don't care for these as much as the other, the ones that have the sockets head screw in there, and I'll show you what I mean. So I ordered about 20 of these, and the reason I needed to order 20 is, well, I shouldn't say 20 packs, but I ordered 5 packs of 4. They come in blue, red, like a golden orange, and a silver. And they have a set screw. They have a screw that tightens the quick connect die lock ring, whatever you want to call it. It tightens it down on the die or on your die sets, and it doesn't allow for the die to move on the ring. These are using an O-ring. I don't know if you can see that from there, but they're using an O-ring to make the die kind of stationary so it doesn't move. They use that O-ring, but I found that over time your dies will move. If you're going to do 1,000 rounds or whatever, your die will move. If your die just starts to come up on you, you're not going to have the same neck tension. You're not going to have the same, if you're sizing, you're going to be sizing part of your die. You're not going to get a full size. So I opted for the set screw lock-ons, and now I only have to worry about one spot coming loose at the bottom. If you do use these, you're not locking, you're hoping that the O-ring is going to stop the movement, but we'll go over that a little later. So you do get a catalog, a colored catalog with other things that Lee sells. Some of this stuff I think is not being sold anymore. I did see a Loadmaster in here, and I know they discontinued that. You do get your instruction booklet for the auto drum, the powder measure. Again, watch the little video I have on cleaning up those drums. It really will help you a lot. And then you do get your setup instructions for the machine. And it goes over how to adjust and how to feel things out. And again, the lock rings that they include, I believe they include 6 of them. They're all silver. They all came in a silver color. If you want to make this a little bit better, I would say get the lockable rings. Again, it's personal preference, but I have seen my dies move a little bit at a time here and there, and it ended up where I had to run the cases through again because they weren't sizing properly. One other thing that I'm going to go over a little later is the 6-pack Pro soft twist index rod that I opted to buy extra. I will go over what the difference is between what you get at the factory and what the soft twist is. I think you can see the difference here. It's where it starts to twist the machine. The factory gives you more of a rapid twist. It does create more of a harsher twist that will fling powder. The soft index rod starts at a higher point and starts to twist and gives you a much softer twist. The only problem is that because it starts higher, some of the taller cases, let's say you're doing 30-06 or something like that, you might not be coming down far enough before the machine wants to twist. And if you've got your bullet in the neck and you're coming out of your seater, it might start touching the seater. I'm not sure. I will try. I will let you know what the tallest caliber I was able to put in there, what the tallest round I was able to put in with the soft twist before it actually started to bind at the top. But that's basically the difference, is where it starts. Now, I did have a problem with this not indexing properly, and I'll show you the fix when I get the machine up and going. It's a real simple fix. So I'm going to pause here. You can fast forward. This is going to be about a 5 or 6 part setup. It's going to show you what you can do with the press to smoothen it up, get it to last a lot longer. I want to go over setting up the dies. There's a lot of guys out there that are buying reloading equipment. They want to reload, and I think everybody that should pretty much know how to reload, but you've got to be really careful. It is safe as long as you do it right, and double, triple, quadruple check your work, and load good rounds. Ask a buddy if you know somebody in reloading. Ask a buddy. Ask people at the gun range that you see these old guys that are reloading. Ask them for advice. Ask them for help. But I'm going to set this up on my stand, and we'll come back and set up the dies. And again, I want to go over a few things that I think need to be done to get this machine to work better and last longer. So see you in a second.